Quirky Quirks by Nanny Linda. It was a sunny day for the dog show being held in the local park, and the first competition of the day was the dog with the quirkiest bark. Esmeralda Burke wore a long flowing dress and led her dog and glided into the ring. Her hair hung down in long shining waves, and she wore flower flip-flops and some bling. Her pet Gizzy was a Hungarian sheepdog with shaggy and long wavy hair. In fact, it was very similar to her owners, and they looked quite the matching pair. Ebenezer Quirk, tall and handsome, in his skinny jeans, baker boy cap and brogue shoes, entered into the ring with Sprout, his Brussels Griffon, and received an admiring smile from Judge Bessie Bewes. Both man and dog had well-groomed faces and walked with heads held high, and when Ebenezer and Esmeralda's eyes met, they both let out a contented sigh. It was only a few months later that they became Mr. and Mrs. Quirk, and Esmeralda was especially delighted that she was no longer a Burke. They were married in a local woodland, a beautiful nature park, and all the guests brought their canine friends, and they were all allowed to bark. They honeymooned in a treehouse with a hot tub that lit up at night, and their dogs Gizzy and Sprout really enjoyed themselves, making new doggy friends Tina and Ike. The Quirks' new home was in Gobbledygook Lane, at the end of an old cobblestone road. They had bought and converted an old windmill from a farmer named Jasper Toad. Ebenezer was an architect and had a profitable and amazing career, and Esmeralda was an artist who sold her work year after year. Ebenezer built another windmill beside their original home, which was to be Esmeralda's art gallery where all her work could be shown. After a very happy year of marriage, triplets came along, and quirky names were given to each of them: Quinn, Ezra, and Elon. They were a very happy family for many enjoyable years, and then the Quirky Quirks greeted twins Octavius and Mears. The windmill home was busy, hectic and always full of toys, with lots of shouting and laughing with 5 quirky little boys. A large quirky van was purchased to take all the boys to school, which was also used for outings and trips to the swimming pool. And so many more years passed the Quirky Quirks by in a hustle and bustle way, until one day Esmeralda announced that another baby was on the way. This time they hoped and prayed that it would be just the one, for having multiple births for Esmeralda was never any fun. Finally one day a baby girl arrived, then a second and a third, then number 4. 4 little girls for Esmeralda, as Ebenezer passed out on the floor. Beautiful names were given to the new quadruplet baby girls: Tallulah, Ariel, Enya, and the smallest little baby was Pearl. A few weeks later, Esmeralda then decided that Ebenezer should pay the doctor a visit, and from there a further appointment was made with consultant Mr. Snippet. And so this very busy family, with mum, dad, triplets, twins and quads, now have an extension to the extended windmill, and all live quirkily with their 2 happy little dogs. For the Quirky Quirks, life was very hectic, with 9 children in the mix, and Ebenezer had to work plenty of overtime to keep the family out of any financial fix. Esmeralda worked in the evenings and regularly sold her art, so she was able to help with the finances and felt she was doing her part. Then the children all had hobbies, never a moment to sit and chill. The minibus was always on the move, and there was always an enormous fuel bill. Quinn and Ezra went to archery club every Monday and Wednesday after school. Elon liked his harp and lute and had lessons every night as a rule. Octavius went to badminton and played in the local league, and Mears was a judo champion, definitely on a winning streak. Tallulah went to clarinet and ballet, and Ariel violin, tap and jazz. Enya loved her music too, and was a singer in a group called Pizzazz. Little Pearl wanted to be a doctor, or maybe a nurse, she wasn't sure, but she was always practicing bandaging on her family, which for her siblings became a bore. So many years passed by happily until one day Quinn had an announcement to make, that his partner, lovely Juniper Rose, didn't have a bun in the oven but was baking a cake. And yes, she had had a scan at the hospital, and yes, there was more than one, and the doctor definitely heard 3 heartbeats. "Oh," said Esmeralda, 3 grandchildren all at once. This is going to be fun. Tallulah was sat by her partner Asher and said, "We have an announcement too. Our babies are due in 6 months' time, and we know we are expecting 2. Ebenezer got out the champagne. Hugs and congratulations were in the air. Esmeralda was filled with such excitement that she couldn't get out of her chair. So a few weeks passed by, and then one morning in May, Esmeralda heard some faint little cries. And when she went to check on Gizzy, she had the most shocking surprise. In the dog bed, 9 newborn puppies were all wriggling around, and Gizzy was nowhere to be seen. And when Esmeralda looked out on the porch, Gizzy was giving the 10th pup a clean.